Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, your number one stop for all things in the world of golf. Watch and subscribe anywhere you get your favorite shows on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and more. Just search Get in the Hole. Get in the Hole is the official golf pod of the Underground Sports Philadelphia family of podcasts. Now let's get right into the action. Here's your hosts, Steve McAvoy and Ben Pirro.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Happy Memorial Day, guys.
Happy Memorial Day.
Salute to the troops. I think we have a message from number 46 somewhere in the archives to give a shout out to all the troops. Kyle, do you have that?
Number 46? It might be number 45 and a half.
Was it 45?
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything post like Obama, I'm like lost on.
I have him on the phone right now, so just stand by.
Got you.
Hello, everybody. Happy Memorial Day from LIVGolf here at the Trump Golf Course. It is a fantastic weekend. Support the troops. I teed it up with the best of the best on the LIVGolf Tour this weekend. Shout out to my very good friend, Greg Norman, bringing home a championship last weekend with Brooks Koepka. He's going down to the Florida Panthers game. They're going to the Stanley Cup. And that non-normal collar-wearing Ron DeSantis is not going to beat me in any presidential election. But I am rooting for the Florida Panthers because Florida loves your former president and soon-to-be president once again, Donald Trump.
Technically speaking, if Trump wins the presidency again, is he 45 and 47 like Grover Cleveland? Like was Cleveland considered like two different?
So.
It's amazing
because it's split.
Did you hear that that Trump during warm-ups at the LIV event said that he won quote unquote 12 club championships at his golf course? That's like Kim Jong-un shooting an 18. Bless you.
Kim Jong-un, he's a very good friend of mine. Steve.
Oh my God.
I'm still listening
Donnie,
here.
Donnie, get out of here. Donnie,
I'm still listening here on the phone. I'm just waiting.
All right. Donnie's muted. I can't take this, man. Welcome into the Get in the Hole podcast. Steve McAvoy, Kyle Bennett joining us. I can't even speak right now. Steve McAvoy, Kyle Bennett, and former host Benny Biceps Pirro joining us this week on the pod. Yep, I said it. I knew you'd hate it, but for a guy whose ego is as big as his head, I mean, I might as well give him the credit.
Whoa.
Ben, welcome, Ben.
You're firing shots already, Steve. We have a very, very long summer, my friend.
Look, you know what? You're back on the island for a little bit. I will take as much time as I need in order to get the beef going again. And hey, look, you know what? Maybe if you have some more time to jump back in the pod, maybe we'll continue the beef. But
yeah, I was just about to say, actually, I have so much time on my hands now that I can do this every single Monday if you fancy, and we can get the beef going again. Yeah, I knew KB would be happy about that.
Let's go.
Excited.
Yeah, excited. Look, so when it comes to it, at the end of the day, I hope you know that deep down somewhere in the very far depths of my body, I do love you.
I know you,
but at least on the surface, you're a complete pain in my side. And while I will never beat you in a head-to-head golf tournament, I think at least maybe in a close to the pin challenge on a par 3, I might beat you. Maybe once, maybe twice. But maybe. Anyhow, Ben, thank you for joining us this week. Of course, we've had a lot of time between your last visit here. Of course, you've been out on a tear on the golf course. You've been making your way to eventually Q School. I believe it'll be in August or September. You'll be heading out.
Yeah, I don't know with the schedule yet for Q School. Last year they moved it up, and so pre-qualifying for Q School was in late August. So I kind of hope it's not in late August. I hope it's September, like it usually is, just that I can play the Met Open, because that's the biggest purse that we have available, and it would be really nice for me to stay here as long as possible as well. I'm back in New York now, and it's just so beautiful here. I mean, I'm looking right now at the water, and it's just the sun setting, it's windy, and it definitely beats Florida, which is 100 degrees. And no wind.
I was gonna say, how much does the weather affect like how you prepare for everything? And like obviously Florida with how much humidity and everything there is compared to what there is up here, like sure New York and the Northeast still has it, but Florida's like a literal swamp.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a lot out of you for sure. I mean, well, as someone like me who's like a grinder, I mean, since I've gotten up here, every single practice session I've had has been anywhere from 6.5 to 7.5 hours. And that's just golf. That's not including gym time, which is an hour and a half. And then plus like my mental time as well, where it's like hypnosis and affirmations and meditation. In Florida, though, I mean, you have to be super, super careful that you don't burn yourself out. Not like mentally burn yourself out, but you have to stay physically fresh because the heat does take a toll. I mean, you're dripping sweat constantly down there this time of year, and there's very little wind. So the most important thing is to really stay fresh down there, which up here, yes, that's also very important, but the weather kind of gives you a little bit of a break for sure. You don't need as much time up here to recover because of the lesser amount of humidity, really. So, and temperature.
Yeah, like I spent 3 hours today on the beach and I'm like ready for a nap. I can only imagine what it's like just being in the blistering sun for 7 hours hitting golf balls. I mean,
you can join me. You can join me. Hey, we could do that closer to the pin contest on a par 3.
There we go.
No, like I'm just saying, the idea that like you're out there for 6-7 hours constantly just working on your craft, like again, and my girlfriend mentioned it on the ride home. She's like, wow, like I would kill for a nap because the post beach nap after taking in 4 hours of sun is like amazing. I don't know how you do it. Like, since the last time we spoke, we had a lot of we discussed a lot about what you've been up to in terms of your game, but what have you like learned and what have you developed over the last few months since we last chatted about being in Florida and learning about what you're about to kind of go through in the golf game? How have things ramped up in the last few months that you've learned about and you've made things more adjustable?
Yeah, so I adjusted my approach a lot to just my overall game starting at the beginning of the new year in 2023. I just didn't feel like I felt like I'd kind of lost a step mentally, which I remember the first time I was ever on this show back in 2021 over the summers after I won the Hebron, and I felt like my greatest strength was my mental game. And I can confidently say that was actually a hindrance really for a while. I just kind of felt like I lost really my confidence and my edge when I was playing and even practicing. And so I've been working every single week, once a week with John Weir, who's been my mental coach for, we've been working together since I was probably 16, 17. And we do an hour session every single week, and it's paid dividends for sure. He's been such a huge help, and we've put together some really good goals, and we changed a lot about my pre-shot routine actually. And I don't want to get too technical because this is more of an overview of what I've been doing, but we made a lot of adjustments for sure. I also had a really good conversation in probably early February, late January with Mike Bender, my swing coach. And obviously Mike and I have worked together since I was 16, so 8.5 years now. And I just was driving it so poorly off the tee. And I said this to my dad yesterday. I was like, there could have been trouble 40 yards right. I was steering it away from the trouble, which is just not how you're supposed to play. And, Mike said to me, he was like, dude, we've worked together for such a long time. He's like, I watch you hit golf balls. He's like, yeah, your swing's not perfect, but your swing's really good. He goes, you have to go out there and you have to believe you're the best driver of the golf ball. And after that conversation, he would ask me, he'd be like, who's the best driver of the golf ball? And I'd say Ben Pirro. And we would just do little, not mind games, but just mental reminders of stuff like that. And now it's to the point where a bad driving day for me is me hitting eight fairways around, 8 out of 14, whereas before it would be 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. So that's a big jump. That's a bad driving day for me. So
and things that most pros can only dream of at times too.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my last Monday qualifier, I played in Knoxville, hit 11 out of 14 fairways.
There you
go. So, I mean, and 2 of them were barely misses. So, but yeah, so that's really what I've been focusing on. I've really had to work a lot on my mental game. I had to get tougher. I had to get more confident. And so, I mean, I've been doing a lot of like positive affirmations when I wake up, positive self-talk in the mirror before I get my day started. I do the same thing at night as well before I go to bed. And then on top of that, I'll do a hypnosis session every single day. It's like an audio that John Weir has. If anybody's interested, you guys can Google mental golf type. I'm not sponsored at all. This is not money going into my pocket. So, but no, he's really good. I truly believe in the stuff that he teaches. And also I do mindfulness meditation now as well. So I'll do it when I drive. I don't do a guided meditation anymore. So I'll be driving to practice and I'll just be like, I'll breathe in thinking calm and I'll breathe out thinking confident. So stuff like that. Even my mom has said, like, you look just so much better like than you did. Like, you know, she's like, you just look more confident and like more relaxed. Mm-hmm. So it's always nice to hear that from someone who doesn't get to watch me play as much anymore. So she's able to see those improvements where I probably can't because I'm not watching myself play. So
yeah, I was gonna say, you know, bad driving day for me is hitting 3 red lights and getting stuck behind a school bus, but that's just me.
Jesus.
How much of, like, you know, the mental aspect that you're using for on the course also do you feel like is benefiting you just in your personal life too?
I think it's definitely helped me a lot. You know, one of the things that John and I have really focused on for on-course stuff is post-shot acceptance. And so what we do, and I don't know if I ever touched on this, but I wish I had my last yardage book. So basically, in you have your yardage book, right? So I make my yardage book for every event, and so they'll give you a pin sheet so you know where the pin is, and you know, so from there I'm keeping all my stats, but I'm also tracking my number of processes as well. And so your process is your routine. And the goal is to have 90% good processes or better per round. That's like what you want your average to be essentially per round. Now, that goes for pre-shot and post-shot. And I was really struggling with post-shot, and to the point where like my attitude was terrible. It was awful. And now if like, let's say I miss, I don't know, I forget to check the wind or something, right? Well, that's an X. That doesn't count as a good process. That's pre-shot. But also like a post-shot thing that would count as an X is, you know, I drop a hard GD or something when I'm playing and it's like, ooh, like anything that could potentially get me fined, that's going to be an X. You know, we don't need to be giving any more money to the tour than they already make. So
there you go.
It's true. And so, yeah. And John would admit, John said to me in my last session with him, like I said, I was like, look, in my last qualifier, I shot 70. I had 63 good processes. So that's right at 90%. And 3 of them were post-shot acceptance. And I told him about the 3. And the one, he was like, you could probably cut yourself some slack for that one. I said crapola, which isn't terrible. But, you know, like it's exactly. Yeah.
I mean, look.
I might get a little slip in my locker for that one from the tour. You know?
Much better than Justin Thomas saying whatever the hell whatever he says. I can't even say it, or else I'll probably get fined from the network on that one too. You know, I think you make a really interesting point about like having to find that like mental strength. And I know you and I talked about this when I was going to get you on, but I had mentioned how like in life, right, you're always mentioning how mental game is so important, but also, and this kind of relates to something I noticed with when watching Full Swing, we had talked about Brooks Koepka, and the idea that like even in his personal days when he was like sitting by the pool, like he couldn't get his swing off his mind. He was like this freaking swing. I can't figure it out. How do you, at this stage of your career, now having to focus on almost more than ever to get to the professional ranks and grow and eventually make the KFT, separating the mental side of your golf game from just your personal life and not having your golf affect you personally?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. For me, one of the things I started doing this year was reflection work. And so what I mean by that is I have a journal, and this is the old one, but I'm on my third journal now at this point. And so don't laugh at me.
Hey, you're journaling. It's cute, but it's good. It's good. Not talking smack. It's good.
You're cute too, Stephen. Okay.
Thank you.
Kyle,
See, positive affirmations.
Kyle Hansen, you're cute. Anyway, so
I'll take cute. I'll take that.
Okay, bars down there. All right. Anyway, so
what's up, everybody? It's KB. Again, the whole podcast is presented by our awesome partners over at Wasted Wedge, and a new age of golf has arrived. And if you are looking to be the talk and envy of your group and create memories with your friends and family, look no further than the lineup of Wasted Wedge products and merchandise. These Wasted Wedges are a blast to drink shots out of on and off the course. I want you to think your traditional shot ski that people were lugging around at your college parties and all over the place, and how difficult they were to store, how difficult they were to transport. Wasted Wedge is revolutionizing it. It's now a golf club. It's a wedge. It's compactable, can go right into the side pocket of a golf bag. You have extenders, and it's all plastic cups, so there's no hot glue. There's no glass that you actually have to use. They're the best in the game, and they're revolutionizing the way you're taking shots on and off the course. They're a blast, and you need to check them out. Go to wastedwedge.com. Check out all of the products that they have to offer, from the actual Wasted Wedges themselves to apparel that they have to the extenders and everything in between, to be the talk of your party, be the talk of your golf outing. And you can find them on Instagram and Facebook at Wasted Wedge. Be sure to follow them. Make sure you're letting them know that you're coming from the Get in the Hole podcast and Underground Sports Philadelphia. That's wastedwedge.com, and find them on Instagram and Facebook at Wasted Wedge. Remember the name, wastedwedge.com.
So let's put it this way. Every single practice, workout, every single day, I have my mental plan, my workout plan, my practice plan. If I'm playing, my playing plan as well. Stuff that I want to accomplish, drills I want to do, stuff like that. And after I complete every single subsection of my practice, so putting, chipping, wedges, full swing, on-course work, workout, I'll do a reflection when I'm done with it, because it's most fresh. That's when it's freshest in my mind. And that way I'm jotting down everything that I'm doing, everything that I'm thinking, everything that I'm feeling. And then I still have it in here forever then, right? And I can reference it. But it allows me to really get clarity. And it allows me, because I have more clarity, to not take it home if it's not a good practice. It allows me to keep things in perspective, because look, practice is supposed to be really difficult. If your practices aren't, it's like a workout. If you're not straining during your workout, and if you're not dead tired after a workout, then how productive was the workout? It wasn't. What did you improve? Probably not a whole lot. Well, it's the same thing with practice. You're supposed to feel like you kind of get beaten up. I mean, I remember during it's not called the Shell Houston Open anymore. Whatever it's called now, it's a fall event at the same course. But they had Golf Channel had Alex Bregman on, the third baseman for the Astros, and he's not a golfer, but he's a professional athlete, and he's a great baseball player. And he was like, one piece of advice I would give people is make your practice as hard as possible. They're supposed to be hard. You're not really supposed to be. If you play great, if you're great during practice, awesome. If you're not, well, that's why it's called practice. So you have to keep things in perspective. Practice is supposed to be hard. Mm-hmm. And if you're doing the necessary things to reflect on your practice as well, it'll also give you more clarity, and it'll allow you to put together a game plan for the next day without having so much emotion attached to it. I don't know if that answered your question, but yeah. I hope it did. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating, because having to figure out and separate work from personal. I mean, look, I'll come home every now and then, and my girlfriend can laugh at me right now about it as she's sitting next to me. Like the fact that like I'll come home and like, oh my God, I had this call with this guy and I hate him, and like I will always bring back something from work back home. And she's like, oh yeah, like sorry, whatever. Like she's listening, but like it's like whatever. Like in terms of golf, I mean, like, and again, we all do it. I'll come home and I'll be like, oh, I had 2 great chances at a par, and the next thing you know, I 3-putt. Now, granted, this is me talking, not you, but the idea of having to deviate those things and get over the fact that, you know what, look, it's golf. Yeah, it's my career, but also you got to turn the page and you have to move on. I mean, you look at pros every single day, they're constantly having this battle where every single week for a lot of guys, and for what will be you to start out, every week's a paycheck. And it's like beating the dead horse. If you don't make the cut, you don't get paid. Like it's the constant like up and down in battle, and it's fascinating to have to go through that as somebody who has made a sport his career. It's like there's so few, and it's a fascinating little factoid. What's the biggest thing as of late though that's been the biggest, not like challenge, but the one thing about your game that like you kind of can't get out of your head at times that you kind of want to figure out over the next few months?
I can think of a couple things. Well, I'm on a new driver, a new 3-wood, so that's good.
I heard this story. Can you explain this a little more? So I had mentioned that you were taking a little too few divots.
Oh, shut up. No, okay, look. All right. This guy, he's got jokes. Okay. So when I was playing in Knoxville during the Monday qualifier, I was driving it great, as I said. I get up on this dogleg left par 4, and I hit just a horrendous 3-wood. I mean, this thing is like 40 yards right. It's so bad. The hole goes to the left, and I hit it right. And it was just a horrible tee shot. And I was just like, you gotta be kidding. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. Like, you've been flushing it. I've been hitting it so well all day. And now, like, what the hell? And so a couple holes later, I get up. It's another dogleg left. I got to hit 3-wood. Well, I go to clean off the face, and I notice the face is like grabbing my towel. And I was like, what's going on? I look at it, and the face is caved in. The 3-wood cracked. And I was like, well, this is great because I don't even know where to hit I don't know what to hit here now. And so my 3-wood cracked. A couple of days prior, actually, my 4-iron head got loose during the practice run. So I had to take it to Dick's Sporting Goods and have them fix it before the Monday. And so a guy came out to Long Island National. He helped fit me for a new 3-wood. It'll be here in like a week. The day after my fitting with the guy, I look down at my driver, and I see a scratch on the top of it. And I'm like, that's a pretty weird place to have a scratch.
Oh, God.
And I look down, and I'm like, oh, nice. That's cracked, too. And I've been hitting this thing so well. And so I go inside, and Utaka, who's one of the assistant pros, he's like, it's not cracked, but it's fractured. So it's going to get bigger, and then it's going to break. So you probably want to get a new one. And I was like, oh, this is great. I don't have many mental breakdowns. I was about to have a mental breakdown.
Oh, God.
So I spent the next day getting fit for a new driver. And we think it might work. They want me to use it a little bit more before we buy it. So,
God. So what's the new club of choice now for the 3-wood and driver?
Okay. The driver is going to be the Callaway Paradigm.
Okay.
So as of right now, it's the same shaft I was using. It's it's an Adila Extortion 70X, 70 gram extra stiff shaft. I've used that since like college. That thing's like a board. It's a swing. It's a good shaft. We were able to get the ball launching higher, add a little bit more spin, which I needed actually. And instead of the ball flight kind of dipping down this way at descent, it was kind of going down more gradually. Mm-hmm. So the last one that I hit, they were like, just make a normal driver. Cause like they'll ask me to hit different types of shots with it and stuff. The last swing I made, he was like, just make a normal driving range swing. And I carried it 307 and it went 341 total.
Oh, damn.
But fingers crossed, we like it still. And then the TaylorMade, it's the new Stealth. I think it's a Stealth 2 head with it's the titanium head. We got the Fujikura Ventus shaft. It's a I think it's the shaft. I think Rory uses the shaft. A lot of guys use that shaft on tour, and they don't even get paid to use it. And I mean, I was hitting it 280 in the air, and it was rolling out to 301. So I was hitting that nice and beefy. So
Very nice.
yeah.
I have the same shaft on my driver, so maybe I'm doing something right at least. Then again, the ball still goes 30 yards right. So again, hey, look, work in progress. This is how things happen.
Yeah.
So now leading up to what will be Q School in late August and or September, what are the next few events kind of lined up? What's the schedule now that you're back in New York? Obviously, you're going to be playing more Long Island and probably upstate New York, I would assume, or even Jersey-based events. So what's the schedule looking like?
All right, so it really all depends on residency up here. Some states are pretty picky about who can play and who can't. Some don't, some really don't care. So luckily for me, I am a New York State resident. So I am playing the Long Island Open. That's coming up in about, what's today, Monday? So
yes.
7 days from tomorrow, that'll be coming up. That's at Huntington Crescent Club. After that, I have the New York State Open qualifier, Colonial Springs. Then the week after that, actually really that same week, I head up to New Hampshire and Vermont because I have to do the Vermont Open is the third week of June, and it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The New Hampshire Open is that same week, and it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Ooh.
The New Hampshire Open has 2 courses. Vermont Open has 1. So I have my calendar right here. I'm going up there. I'm leaving on the 14th, and I won't be back until like the 24th because I have to do practice rounds and get to know those courses.
What's that going to be like playing 6 straight days of tournament-style golf?
Oh, Steven, you know me. I'm in great shape. I'll be just fine.
Oh, God. See, every single time, man, I keep on telling him, dude, like your head is gonna break the ceiling of your house at this point.
He'll just get fitted for a new one.
Yeah, exactly. Breaks too.
Oh man, I absolutely hate you. Oh, you know, hey, look, the next time you come back, it's gonna be a hell of a time. But yeah, no, but like seriously, 6 straight days of tournament style golf. What's the preparation then at that point, knowing that every single day, every shot's gonna count?
Like it doesn't really change anything for me. You know, I get most of my work gets done. Most of my work gets done leading up to the tournament. When I'm at the tournament, it's about the tournament. Yeah, I'll do some practicing after the practice round or after a tournament round, but I'm not going to grind for 4 or 5 hours after I just played for 5 hours.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. And so for me, like, look, you just have to tell yourself, this is what you train for. This is what you do. And this is why I work out really hard. This is why I practice really hard. That way, when I have to play more of a demanding schedule in a short amount of time, I'm not bitching and moaning like most people would be. You know, it's a mindset thing. You know, yes, fatigue is a real thing, and you have to, I'll be pacing myself. I know how to pace myself. I've been doing this long enough. But yeah, it's just a mindset thing. You have to go in there with the self-belief. Like, my mental coach John Weir told me, it's something like, when you feel like you've given everything you've got, when you feel like you've given 100%, you've actually only realized 20% of your actual potential.
Mm-hmm.
So just remember that. Anybody that's watching, regardless of what it is, you think you can't give anything else, you have 80% more to give, probably.
It's like the what was that one movie where it was like someone had like a brain surgery and it was like only 20%, only 20% of your brain's working, and like they untap the rest, and he's like it's like Bradley Cooper. I think it's in the movie. I could be totally wrong at the end of the day.
I think Scarlett Johansson's in that movie.
Was it?
Because they like progressively unlock percentages.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, Scarlett Johansson's been in some odd movies. She was Siri in Her. She's then become a total badass in the Marvel films. But anyways, I'm digressing.
It's called Lucy. 2014's Lucy.
I knew it was a familiar film. Thank you, KB. See, this is why we have Kyle on to give us all the analytics from Movie World.
No, we have him on because he's the best podcast host you can get. That's why.
Well, yes, that is also very true.
God, I miss Ben.
Well, I'm gonna be back more now. I can do it
Let's
every
go.
week. So
Have we gotten Ben the polos yet?
We are working on them.
we are years behind on this one.
dude, before I leave for New Hampshire, if you want, just like send me a hoodie. I'll wear it up there. I'm gonna be stopping at all these random gas stations, and I'm gonna be eating by myself. I'll wear it.
I will be ordering the hoodie for you tomorrow morning.
There you go. And you know what? I will hand deliver it when I see you.
I'll send it right to Ben.
Yeah, but there's more sentiment if I hand deliver to him.
Oh, jeez, I gotta see that.
You literally said, "Hey, let's go to the Mets game next week." This guy over here.
He said that?
The fact that you openly want to submit yourself to the absolute torture of watching the New York Mets with me in the picture is even worse.
Well, yeah, then we can bitch and moan together. I think it would be a lot of fun.
That is true. Yeah, we can.
Trust me, no, they're a terrible watch. They are.
It's so bad.
Meet the Mets.
Yeah, no. What's the one thing, KB? I commented about? Oh, it was like something about how
the Mets ruined Justin Verlander.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, yeah,
he's also 40.
The Mets ruined everybody.
He also won the Cy Young last year.
He's 40.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm not a kid. Yo, Mike Gundy on that call, absolutely amazing.
Come at me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
You got to watch. I'm going to send you guys the link. There's the ESPYs in 2007. Justin Timberlake did a mashup where he sat in on the biggest moments of the year, and he was the one interviewing Mike Gundy in the video that he did. I'll send it to you. It's absolutely hilarious. If you want to watch an absolute piece of work, Justin Timberlake's entire ESPYs montage, the songs, the skits, everything are absolutely perfect. I completely lost my track and train of thought at this point now. Don't worry. No, I have found it. Ben, I want to digress back to a little bit away from the personal talk, but just kind of talk more golf in general. Last week on the show, I had mentioned that Brooks Koepka might be a top 10 golfer of all time. I want your thoughts for the people.
He's not a top 10 golfer of all time. I'm sorry, he's not. He doesn't have the consistency. He's a top 25 golfer of all time. /Maybe top 20 if I really sense the numbers.
He's top 10. He's top 10 in the girlfriends / wife department.
The WAGs list,
maybe.
Oh, give me a break.
The WAGs list. That's
what they're called. It's the WAGs, the wives and girlfriends.
Oh my God, give me a break. No, he's not a top 10 golfer of all time. Not yet. And now that he's on LIV, he doesn't have anything else to win. He doesn't have anything else to really compete in except the majors. He has to add a couple more majors then. Because look, it's great that he plays his best when the lights shine brightest. But he just he never had the consistency factor when he was on the PGA Tour.
Does he basically have to go career Grand Slam to be top 10 in your eyes?
Let's see.
One of the
he has 2 US Opens and 3 PGAs, right?
Yeah, so he's got to run the gauntlet on the Open at Augusta at this point. Which, I think he could win one of them. Winning both, I think, is a long shot. He never plays well abroad.
He's gonna win it. He's gonna win a Masters. He'll win a Masters. But he doesn't have the overall level of consistency. I would say top 20, maybe top 20.
If Harry Hall wasn't a pro golfer, what would he be?
A Thomas the Train. Thomas, for anybody that didn't hear me, because I was cracking up, he's like a Thomas the Tank Engine train conductor.
Now that we're on the idea of asking random questions, I have some rapid fire questions that we've never actually gone through, and I think it'd be a fun thing to let the folks know a little more about Ben Pirro.
Be with your best shot, big boy. Let's give it.
How many pillows do you sleep with?
So down here, up here in New York, I sleep with 4. Down in Florida, I sleep with 2. I don't know why, but yeah.
Can you not afford more throw pillows? You know, Bed Bath & Beyond's going out of business, so you can get them like 80% off.
Well, no, because usually if I have more than, I don't know why. No, I just don't need. I don't need more than 2 down there. I just don't.
Do you have a top sheet down in Florida?
What's a top sheet?
That's exactly the answer I'm looking for. What is your go-to socks brand?
FootJoy.
KB, if you want to jump in and ask some randos, you're more than welcome to do so as well.
That's big time on the spot.
I have so many of these; it's like really bad, but I feel bad. I feel like I'm not like including you in the interview here.
Oh well, there was this question from one of our sponsors that they put on their social media. Where's the weirdest place you've ever seen a TV, Ben?
We've seen a TV.
Yeah, like weirdest place you've ever seen a TV.
I
have an update to my answer now.
Weirdest place I've ever seen a TV. I mean,
very odd question.
I don't know. Like,
but it makes you think.
Maybe the most unsafe place I've seen a TV is in a car when kids are screaming at the TV. When you drive past, you see the kids just glued to the TV like this, and the parents are sitting in the minivan just trying to hold it together. That's probably the most unsafe place I've seen a TV. Honestly, I don't know. Probably, I don't know. I don't really go that many weird places. I go to the gym. I go to my house. I'll go to a bar. There's TVs there.
I saw one at Chickies and Pete's, local area restaurant bar, this weekend in the bathroom at Chickies.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
On the wall next to where you wash your hands. TV.
See, I've seen them. I've seen some TVs. Granted, they actually weren't working, but they were right above the urinal.
That's genius.
That's fire.
Actually, they have those in the suite level at MSG. But they don't play you like they'll play you the game during the game, but during breaks in the action, it'll play like running ads for like all the events going on. So actually, honestly, pretty genius when you think about it. It's just constantly like throwing ads in your face. What is Taylor Swift's best and worst song?
Oh my god!
My girlfriend saw her on Saturday, and she said, and I quote, "Laughing, crying, screaming, throwing up, unfathomable, greatest moment of my life."
Wow, she was at the Taylor Swift concert with Aaron Rodgers and Paul Rudd,
and Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. A wild crowd that night, and of course, Ice Spice, Our Lady. Sorry, Ben. Best and worst Taylor Swift song.
I don't like Taylor Swift.
What? You don't like her?
No, I don't.
I don't know, man. I listen to her in the gym. So
are you kidding me?
Yes.
You're a sicko.
You're sick.
Taylor Swift is not gym
You know
music.
what? You want to know something? All right. The best song that she's ever made was what's it? It's Me. Hi.
Hero. Okay.
You want to know why? Because after Zach Wilson remember when Zach Wilson got benched and he basically said it wasn't the offense's fault why they only scored 3 points against New England? Someone made like a tweet and it was a meme and it was like Zach Wilson going and apologizing to his teammates. And it's when they open the door in the video and it's Taylor Swift saying, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem." And I was crying laughing. It was so funny. The worst song. Oh man. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of any of her songs. So
all right. So like, what's the one song you can't stand?
22, because when I turned 22, everybody's like, "I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22." I couldn't wait for my Jordan year after that. I was like, "Just make me 23."
We have the Taylor year, the Jordan year, the Kobe
/
year.
the Blink 182 year. 23 is also the Blink 182 year.
And
no one likes you when you're 23.
Right now, I'm in my quarter life crisis year, 25.
Hell yeah. Best time of your life. I get shit on so much for saying, oh yeah, it's the quarter life crisis. Now it's actually as bad as it sounds. What was your last Halloween costume?
Oh man. My last one. Oh, actually, it's on my Instagram. It was great. Here we go.
Go dig.
I dressed up as a frat star. So shut up. I had a paddle, so so it made the costume work. I had some shades on, had a backwards hat, like a snapback hat, I think, collared shirt, Sperry's, like khaki shorts. I looked great. I was standing next to my good friend Cody Darcy. He was my roommate at the time, and Cody looked way more jacked than I did in the picture. He was also flexing, which I'm kind of salty about.
Actually, hold on. That actually wasn't the latest one. That was in 2020. This is the latest one that I'm seeing, which I'm gonna assume you were Macklemore in the thrift shop.
That's right. No, that's right.
That's great.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, no,
That's an amazing photo.
What?
That is amazing.
I know.
That's fantastic.
Oh my God.
I can definitely say that was the second time I had worn that But yeah, no, you're right. That was my last semester at Xavier. I dressed up as Macklemore, and I you know what? I remember. So that night we went out to this bar / nightclub in Cincinnati called Japs. And so it was packed, and we all wanted to kind of get to the back of the bar. So we made like a human train, and everybody followed me in. So I was just like the crowd pusher. I didn't bring my fur coat in because I would have been dying. I wore like a t-shirt, and I lost my credit card. I was freaking out. I had to go back the next day, and I had to get my credit card. I was freaking out. It's
a walk of shame kind of a moment there.
Yeah, it was pretty weird seeing that place during the day. It was dead.
There's no worse feeling though when you go to the bar, you open a tab, you forget to close said tab, and then you go back the next morning and you close it out. That happened to me. Work on Wednesday.
Oh, see, I've never done that.
Went back into the city on Thursday. I had to waltz into this bar, and I go, this place looks like nothing like it was 12 hours ago when I was blackout drunk.
Well, you're also sauced, right?
Yes, of course. Naturally.
KB, you need to get my reaction and Steven showing his phone with the costume. You need to like crop that.
This was the image that you were referring to, though.
That's great.
That is great.
With the caption, should I order the mint green polo or the George W. blue?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's great. Wow. Going deep into your Instagram.
I'm so happy I archived a lot of those from like my high school days.
I still think you look better with the long hair, like the flow. I don't know.
Well, the short hair allows me. It keeps everything more in place and in check.
Yeah.
Like
you look a lot like Ian Poulter in this photo with the haircut. Yeah,
that was freshman year of college.
Adorable.
That also wasn't my tie. We had 12 matching ties or something. That our coach had for us that we all had to wear.
That's adorable.
And, yeah.
KB, do you have any others?
These are great.
That was a good one. Weirdest place for a TV.
Since the most recent season just ended, and I feel like you do relatively well, do you think you would ever apply to how well do you think you would do on Survivor?
I don't really watch TV. I don't have cable in Florida.
I think you would crush it on like this new era of Survivor because it's all like strength and endurance and mental. I think you would absolutely crush.
Before you said that, I was about to say, based on like it's like a lot of mental stuff, I feel like I would outlast a lot of people. And also,
you're savvy. So like if you found like an immunity idol or something, you'd know where to hide it. Like,
oh, absolutely. And
you're
I feel
a talker.
Not to be cocky or anything, but I do feel like I'd be a fan favorite for sure.
Oh yeah, you would win the CEO award hands down.
I think Ben would be great on Big Brother. That would be his show.
Same shit, different toilet.
I mean, okay. Dance with Lady Gaga or dinner with Obama?
Oof.
This is a good one.
I dance with Lady Gaga.
If you were in any movie currently out or soon to be out, what would you want to star in?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably Moneyball. I think Moneyball. Give me Brad Pitt's spot.
Billy Bean? You know, I've been told I look a little bit like Jonah Hill.
You do.
Not fat Jonah Hill like the like Peter Brand, but like I could definitely do like I've been told it's like an odd mix between Jonah Hill and like now modern day Seth Rogen.
Okay, I could see that.
I don't know. I think it's a little
Yeah.
out there. Top 3 celebrity crushes right now.
Oh gosh, right now. Oh man.
Steve McAvoy is one of them.
You wish, buddy. I would say Margot Robbie. But does that have to be in like a specific order?
No.
Okay. Jennifer Lopez. And Shakira, even though she's probably going to jail, or she is in jail.
She's going to jail?
I thought she was, right?
This is news to me.
Tax fraud?
What? Shakira jail. Like literally the first thing when you look at Shakira, it's like the second like a suggested tab on Google. Shakira jail, seeking an 8-year prison sentence and a hefty fine if she's found guilty of tax evasion. What the hell? Tax evasion in Spain.
See,
wow.
I educated you on something. Yeah, but I'd probably say that's tough on the spot. I try not to. I don't really pay attention to too many celebrity things. But
Spanish prosecutors accused the entertainer in 2018 of failing to pay 14.5 million euros, which equates to $13.9 million in taxes on income earned between 2012 and 2014.
Girl, pay your taxes.
The hips may not lie, but Shakira was.
The hips don't lie. The mouth and the bank accounts most certainly do. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Oh, chocolate. Haagen-Dazs chocolate all day.
Oh, Haagen-Dazs specific.
Oh, Haagen-Dazs. It's creamy, yet it's like a harder ice cream. I think
it's like $18 for a pint too, though.
Actually, I just got them today. I don't think it was that much.
Well, like when you go to like a Haagen-Dazs like storefront, it's like $18 for like a cup, and it's like ridiculous. If you had to say someone is your biggest fan, who is it?
Oh man, that's a good one. Oh man.
And your parents do not count.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "Nah, they weren't even there, anyways."
Nah. So are we just excluding all family members?
Sure. Yes.
I would probably say. Oh man, I don't want to piss anybody off, but I would probably say Brody Boston. He was my freshman year suite mate when I was at Presbyterian. He was a transfer junior. We used to Brody and I are. He's great. We FaceTimed a couple weeks ago. We played college golf together for 2 years, and he was such a hard worker. He's one of the hardest working people I've ever met. And I maintain to this day, I fully believe if he had continued to play golf, I truly believe he would make it on tour. I mean, that kid, regardless of what he ever did, I told my mom, I was like, I don't, whatever that kid ends up doing, he's going to be so successful. But he was always such a big supporter of mine. Through the ups and downs, because college golf is really difficult. And I remember we would, when I was rehabbing my ACL injury, we would go in to the batting cages because our golf nets were in there, and we would hit for 3 hours from like 8 to 11 p.m. at night, and we would just be blasting house music. And those are actually some of my favorite memories ever, and he's always been such a big supporter of mine. So yeah, I'd say Brody Boston for sure.
What's the last Google search you've had?
Let me see. I don't know.
I love these questions.
Kind of scared. Oh, Scotto's, because I wanted some food. Do you guys know what Scotto's is?
Scotto's now.
It's a pork store, but it's like they have this. It's like Italian food, right? But they have this thing called an eggplant focaccia sandwich. It is dynamite. It's so good. It's amazing.
Who's the last person you've texted?
That I personally texted or that texted me?
Let's do both.
My dad was the last person who texted me. And wait, 7:32. You were the last person I texted because you said you sent the link and I never got it. So,
well, there's that one. I think I already know the answer to this one. This will be the last question. Actually, second to last question that I have. Super strength or invisibility?
Well, I already am super strong, so I'm just gonna go with invisibility.
There we go.
Do you put your socks and shoes on sock, shoe, or sock, shoe, shoe?
Sock, shoe, and I go right, left, right, like right, left, right, left.
Okay.
I have one final one. Ben, pick 3, whether it's artist or band. Build your dream concert.
Oh man.
Good question.
So they can be different genres, right? Of music.
Correct.
Griffin, I love my EDM. I think that Griffin's so good. Meek Mill. I've been listening to a lot of Meek Mill lately.
Pride of Philly.
And probably Coldplay.
Ooh,
that's actually a goal of mine in life, is to be able to afford to go to one of their concerts.
I have seen Coldplay live. I was front row.
Really?
Yeah. They played Made in America Festival in Philly in 2016 as one of the headlines. And me and my buddy, who's like diehard Coldplay fan, we were like, we have to go early, have to be front row. We were front row. And during, I forget what song it was, but during one of the songs, we're like going word for word with Chris Martin. He like points at us and pretends like he's taking a picture of us. Unreal moment.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Ben, you should come because you're a big house fan. The Belmont Stakes on June 10th. Diplo is performing.
All right, Diplo is like a little bit too hard for me. I like more of like the chill house vibe.
All right. Well,
Also Pride of Philly.
If you want to come and bet horsies with me and listen to Diplo, you're more than welcome to.
June 10th. June 10th.
It's Saturday, baby. The Belmont Stakes. It's the 50th. Listen to this. I'm going to educate you now. The 50th year anniversary of Secretariat winning the Triple Crown. One of the goats in all sports, right there.
I will let you know, Steven.
You let me know. I think on that note, let's take a little break, shall we? On the other side, Ben, please join us for the other half. We'll chat a little bit about what happened this past week at Colonial. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on next week or this upcoming week at the Memorial. We got a lot going on. Don't go anywhere, folks. Steve-O, KB, and Benny Boy right here on Get in the Hole.
Before we get into it, Beer Money is brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer. It's a refreshing light beer, 4.1% ABV, 127 calories, just 10 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com and use the Kenny tracker to see who has Kenwood on tap in the Philadelphia area. Buy Kenwood at your local Philadelphia area liquor store or in Eastern Pennsylvania, your local Whole Foods. Light body, light calories, plenty of flavor, the best light beer on the planet. You must be 21 or older to do so. And of course, please drink responsibly. Now, let's get into our Beer Money picks.
That might have been the cleanest transition out and back in for a show I've probably ever done. That was
well, I mean, you've been doing it long enough. I would hope
Yeah, but I always manage to mess something up at some juncture, and it's I don't know. Something always was haywire.
We're still working on the tardiness. That's
okay. Look, again, I'm much better than John ever was. so at the very least, I'm doing something right. So you got to give me at least a little bit of credit. Welcome back in, folks, to Get in the Hole here. Steve McAvoy, Kyle Bennett, and Ben Pirro back in the seat yet again after a nice long stay away from doing his thing as a pro golfer and other things that that pro golfers do. So, guys, this past week at Colonial, I jotted this up as, and I don't want to get too deep into things because I know, Ben, you're obviously too busy focusing on your attempt to be a pro instead of watching the pros. I feel like it's kind of like a fun in between. You're like, yeah, I don't have time to watch what like KJ Choi is doing, so I'm just gonna do me. But this past week at Colonial, I jotted it up as the unexpected winner amongst the unexpected leaderboard. Emiliano Grillo won this week, the Argentinian native. First win in 7 years. Talk about the parity in golf. And then amongst the people who he had beaten, outside of Scotty Scheffler, who's obviously incredible, I think it was like, what's the number I have? It was, oh God, I'm losing it. Where is it? 5 of the 8 players, 8 of the top 10 players in the leaderboard was outside of the official World Golf Rankings top 50, 5 of which came out of the top 100. So a very wild and unexpected leaderboard we saw at Colonial, something that you usually don't see at a golf course like that, especially when you look at the past winners, all of which are current guys in the top 50 or guys who have deferred to LIV and have gone on to be the best at LIV. So it's a fascinating little tidbit that I had. Of course, we chatted Harry Hall, had this huge lead. Looks like a British train conductor. I think it's more the hat than it is the facial hair, but the facial hair also does. He gives me like odd, like Johnny Depp vibes. I don't know. Right?
I can kind of see it.
Right? It's
fair.
It's the pencil mustache and the little like V like work right there on the bottom. But is there any takeaways this week if we've looked at anything going into the Memorial this week that we should be looking out for? Any trends you guys are seeing on the PGA Tour world?
Well, look, I think it's great that there was more parity. I think there's actually really just been more parity in the past probably year or so because of LIV. Because golf for a while was so top heavy. You had the same guys who are always really good, and like you're a top 100 golfer in the world. Like you're a really good player. Like there's people are like, well, he's ranked 88th in the world. It's like he's ranked 88th in the world. You know how hard that is? Like if you've ranked 88th at anything, like that's in sports, like give me a break. And so it's really nice to see all the parity. And I think this is something that LIV has done for the game of golf because it's taken a lot of the stars away from the PGA Tour, and it's given other players an ability to really showcase their talent and really get TV time. And it's allowing them, the more TV time you get, you're probably going to get more endorsements and stuff like that. So really, it's more money in their pocket as well. Sports always needs parity. And I think that's why, like, college football with the supposed expanded playoff, like, that's going to be key. And with baseball, you never really know what to expect with baseball, honestly. Like, every single year, hey, the Texas Rangers are good. I thought they were going to stink, and even football, every single year, it's like 7 or 8 teams that were in the playoffs, then out of the playoffs. It happens every single year. Parity in sports is what makes it so entertaining. And for a guy like Emiliano Grillo to go out and win at a pretty demanding course that I admittedly don't know a whole lot about, but really craves star power based on its past champions, that just speaks to where the game of golf is at right now. And I think it's at actually a very, very good place.
Yeah, I was going to mention this. I was out a couple of weeks ago when the Wells Fargo happened and Wyndham Clark had won. It was the first time Wyndham Clark had ever won an event, and even casually following golf prior to starting the show, I had known who he was, and so I was like, wow, like I didn't even realize it was his first time winning. I was looking at the winners from this past year. There are 6 guys who have had a gap of 5 years or more since their last tour win. That's Jason Day, Keegan Bradley. These are guys that we know. And Russell Henley, Mackenzie Hughes, Grillo, and then Chris Kirk was like 8 years it's been. And then on top of that, we have, that's 8 total first-time winners on tour. Also, not to mention the fact that, like, you look at the guys who have won multiple times this year, there's only 4 guys, and it's 4 guys that like you would expect to constantly be winning. Mm-hmm. But typically at this point in the year, we have like 6 guys, 7 guys who are multi-time winners. Granted, Rahm's won 4 events, which is like you already kind of know where he stands. Typically, he'll one guy win.
Yeah, he's very clutch.
He is very clutch. You'll typically see like I think it was like Patrick Cantlay had 4 wins 1 year. Prior to that, no one had more than 3 wins in a given year. So Rahm's we're at the end of May, and he's got 4 wins. He's probably going to rack up 2 more, and honestly could very well win this week at Memorial, considering he still has that ill intent towards COVID-19 because of his forced WD. Then it's Tony Finau, Scotty Scheffler, and Max Homa who have 2 wins on the year. Otherwise, everyone else is a first-time winner. A lot of guys have had a gap of at least 3 years. 6 of which have had a 5-year plus gap. So it's crazy to see the parity in sport coming to an ultimate apex. On top of that, too, like you're looking at guys nowadays who are coming up. Like I've harped on him for years now, but Akshay Bhatia is amazing. And despite the fact that he hasn't won yet, obviously on tour, he's still only getting his bearings, is still a threat for a top 20 every single week. Justin Suh just won the Korn Ferry Tour title. I was pointing this out. Like, you look at his numbers and it's like, yeah, he's really good, but he isn't like at that level yet. The guy in his rookie year is top 70 in the world. He has 13 top 50s, 5 top 25s, and has only 4 missed cuts. And his best events have all come at the hardest tournaments in the biggest fields. Like, yeah, 13 top 50s doesn't sound incredible just because like it's only the top 50, but at the end of the day, you're getting paid, you're getting skilled up, and on top of that, you're playing against the best guys in the world and winning and beating out some of these top guys. So I think it's a fascinating thing to be seeing. And now going into the Memorial this week, there's going to be a lot of guys who are fighting for top spots. There's a lot of names that you might not know, despite it being an elevated event. But this is just simply how things shake out now that you guys are moving around boards left and right. Of course, we're going to see Sam Bennett. Ben, I'd love to get your opinion on what Sam Bennett should expect as somebody who's I think he graduated just a couple weeks ago. So now he's finally back on the tour. He now takes his first hack at a full-time golfing gig out of college. Now he's going to play in what's usually the second biggest tournament of the year in terms of the overall strength of field. Is there anything that you expect from a young guy like Sam Bennett going into this week, where already went to Augusta and showed out and was phenomenal for what it was worth for a first-time outing and a first-time PGA Tour outing at that?
At the Memorial, right?
Yeah.
So now he has officially turned pro, correct?
Yes. He's officially pro. I don't think he's. This is a sponsor exemption that he's here.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Look, tour golf is different from anything you will ever encounter, and I mean, he played phenomenal at Augusta. He really did. Now, as a young guy, I have several stories of tour players or fringe tour players telling me how difficult it really is. Even when you're at tour events, you still don't really understand what those guys are going through inside the ropes. You have to have like really thick skin because guys will go at you from the crowd for no reason.
Oh, yeah.
And I personally believe that even if guys are talking smack to him, which is going to happen, it happens to everybody, unprovoked. I truly believe, based on how he played at Augusta, that he can handle it. I think he's going to have. I'm not saying he's going to get his tour card like this year because I'm sure he's getting different sponsors exemptions and stuff like that. But I do believe he will get his tour card eventually. That kid is really good, and I think he has a fantastic mental makeup, which was exemplified by his play at Augusta National.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, this guy's an absolute stud.
because here's the thing, right? Like he went to Texas A&M, first class program. He's played in first class events, and he obviously has the physical talent. Well, he proved based on how he really hung in there at Augusta during the weekend. He really did. For a guy with not really with zero major championship experience, as far as I know, that just shows how mentally tough he is. And he'll be able to handle what people and, of course, other players are able to throw at him. He will. He'll be able to handle it just fine.
Is there anybody that you think this week has at least the best shot of the field to win?
Oh man,
some names, some guys that you think have the ultimate chance.
Ooh. I love my man John Rahm.
He is clutch.
Yeah, you're damn right he is. KB, please insert that clip when Steven said he wasn't clutch right here. No.
I literally rescinded that about 4 months ago when I said, he won 4 events in Europe and he finally won these 4 events.
I don't care. No, the internet is forever, Steven. No, look, I really like John Rahm. Actually, I think he's had a very good year so far. It's obviously a course that he has unfinished business at, as far as I'm concerned, and as a professional athlete, that always, that gives you like a little bit more of a competitive edge, I think. A little extra motivation, I guess you could say. I think he's going to have a really good week. I like John Rahm. I'm not saying he's going to, as far as being in contention, yeah, I would not be surprised.
KB, anybody you're eyeing?
Looking at just everything I have here, I mean, he's still not clearly 100%, but you want to continue to see how Jordan Spieth is playing. Coming off the injury and just seeing how he bounces back from that. I'm also looking at, because I mean, we've seen his name towards the top a lot more recently. My guy, Corey Connors. I want to see how he continues to perform because I feel like he's having one of the better, starts to a summer of his career, and just seeing him more and more towards tops of leaderboards is very fun because, like we've said a ton, and we've said it on this episode, like seeing the different names now because of LIV, giving guys and affording guys the opportunity to make their way up, tournament leaderboards every single weekend is fun to watch.
Yeah, we've been harping on Corey Connors for weeks now, and I think there's one guy who I have in my head who I think, like, this week to me is the ultimate challenge of John Rahm versus Patrick Cantlay. I think it's almost in my eyes, a guarantee that you'll see them in the final pairing. Patrick Cantlay, one of the craziest stats I've heard here, in his last 4 events at the Memorial, has not finished any worse than 4th.
Ooh, that's scary.
This guy's an absolute freaking machine at this golf course. It's like actually amazing. I think at this point, the fact that he hasn't won a major is amazing to me, and also the fact that he won. I think he finished top 10 at the PGA after shooting like 6 over the first round, like absolutely like unheard of for someone of that caliber. So I think it's going to be a Cantlay versus Rahm showdown. Scheffler's obviously up there. I think he has contention. He loves playing this golf course. It's the bomber's paradise for someone like him who hits it as straight as he does. But at the end of the day, I mean, like both of them, both Cantlay and Rahm are kind of at that like eyeing point where there's unfinished business against the guy who did actually win that 1 year because of the fact that you had to withdraw. I think there's going to be not like bad blood because they have respect, but when you see him on Sunday, you're going to see 2 fierce individuals, and I'm looking forward to that a lot. So I think at this point, might as well. We're already pretty deep into this. We're about an hour and 5 in. Let's get in some betting talks. Some guys we're eyeing. Let's bring in some beer money. We haven't had Ben on to discuss some betting picks in a long time.
I'm gonna do some research quick because he didn't tell me.
Don't worry. Hey, look, you're totally fine. You take your time. I have a full betting card that I am ready to absolutely run the gamut on at this point. I was very upset 2 weeks ago. I had bet like 4 guys to win the PGA, and none of them won. and I'm trying to get back in the win column. Hopefully, the Heat and Celtics can give me some luck today, but we'll see how that one goes. We're still operating on that one. If the C's come back from a 3-0 deficit, that would be absolutely amazing. Anyhow, it's time for some beer money brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer. You can find them on the Kenny Tracker. Figure out where you find your Kenwood Beer, and you could soak in the fact that the Sixers have hired Nick Nurse as their new head coach, an individual who I do not think is going to suit them very well, but we'll see how things go.
I'm cool
Find
with
them, kenwoodbeer.com.
That's a good hire.
It's a good hire for other teams that aren't the Sixers. I think he's a little too. He reminds me of Doc Rivers a little bit. It's a very
wait a minute.
Hire.
Nick Nurse, the guy who won a championship with flaky Kawhi Leonard.
Doc Rivers won like 4 rings with the Celtics and won.
Incorrect. Doc Rivers won 1 ring with the Celtics and was carried by a super team.
Doc Rivers has been riding off of that 08 Finals win with
that super team
for 15.
I actually didn't know that. That's crazy.
And Nick Nurse, he was the coach in Toronto, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Yeah. He won with flaky Kawhi Leonard, old Kyle Lowry, short and stocky Fred Van Vliet, and Pascal Siakam, who I never hear anything about anymore.
Siakam's really good. He had Serge Ibaka. He had a very deep team that year.
That was the luckiest team of all time.
Old team because and lucky too, but whatever. I think it's a very good hire.
Whenever I see that image of Kawhi against the Sixers, I can't not think of the fact that somewhere in that frame was just Ben Simmons looking like that. He's like, he did it. All right, guys, let's get into some of your money. Top 20 picks this week. KB, if you want to lead it off, feel free. Ben, you let me know whenever you're ready.
Pulling up my top 20 list here. I am going to go with I'm going to keep it pushing with all-name team Christian Bezadenhout at plus 360 to be top 20.
It's an absolute electric name. I love that so much. Ben, I'll jump in and you can go last here for us, so we'll let you run that way. I'm going to go Justin Suh, top 20. Again, the name isn't quite there yet. He hasn't won yet. This is the first time he's playing at the Memorial. But there's something about how good he's been able to play in really challenging climates. And a plus 450, this is a home run play for someone like him. Again, plays his best. He played at the Waste Management, at the Genesis, at the Players, at Augusta. These are all top fields. He's managing to crack top 25s. I'll take him top 20 and kind of get over the ladder. Plus 450. Ben, who are you taking?
I'm going to go ahead and take Jason Day. I believe it's still his home course. He obviously knows that property very well. I believe he still lives in Ohio. I know his wife is from there. So I'll take Jason Day. I think he's a very under the radar top 20 kind of guy.
All right, top 10. KB, who you got?
Top 10, I am going to rock out with Tom Kim at plus 400.
I like that. I'm going to take, where is he on this board? Syed Thagala, plus 450. Loves this golf course. Has not played it as a member of the PGA Tour. However, has some history back in college. Played a few invitationals all the way. Granted, he went to Pepperdine, but traveled all the way out to Ohio. Actually won a event here as an amateur back in the day. So I like Thagala, plus 450. Not much has changed here since he last won. Murph Village. Tom, who we're taking?
Well, you completely broke up there. Wait, say it again. Is it my turn?
Oh, did you guys miss what I said?
No.
There's kind of a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, a little bit.
Sorry, top 10. I'm taking Syed Thagala at plus 450. That's
okay.
All I got there. Ben, how about you?
Your internet sucks. Ricky Fowler, top 10. Comeback player of the year, baby. All the way. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
He was filthy this past week. I think he even finished top 10 this week.
He's Ricky Fowler. He's filthy all the time.
I like that.
All right, sure. Top 5, KB.
I liked Ben's pick because I'm going Ricky Fowler at plus 750 for a top 5.
Nice. I like that.
Ooh. All right, top 5. I'm getting a lot of 400s on this board. So I went Sub plus 450, Thigala plus 450. I'm going to take Victor Hovland plus 400 for a top 5. This is a pick like 2 weeks in the making. I didn't think he would play as well as he did at the PGA because he still admits that his chipping sucks. But everything else has been on fire, and the short game's coming around for him. He's now, I think he's like 12th on tour in strokes gained tee to green. So I love Hovland at 4-1 for a top 5. Ben, what are you taking?
Top 5, Patrick Cantlay. He's a shoe-in.
He is a shoe-in. Four top 4s in his last 4 events. KB, your gimme this week.
My gimme is that Patrick Cantlay is going to finish top 3.
Ooh, I like that. Ballsy, but I like it.
Ben, where are you going here?
Joel Dahman makes the cut. That's my gimme.
I do love Joel Damon.
Damon, same thing.
I'm gonna it's so ballsy saying your favorite play of the week is to take someone top 5, but I'm taking Patrick Cantlay at plus 240. That's just too easy.
Yeah.
If this guy wins the event, no doubt in my mind that the top 5 is going to hit. Your winning picks this week, men. Who are you taking, KB?
I am going to go with, where's he at? You can get him from anywhere from plus 2,200 to plus 2,500. I'm going Colin Morikawa.
Ooh,
that's interesting.
I like that. Ben, I'll let you go here.
Oh, John Rahm all the way.
So again, this is the Rahm versus Cantlay match for me. I'm going to bet both of them, but for the sake of the further odds, I'll take Cantlay in this one. I think he'll maintain, he'll keep going, and that top 4 will turn into another win. I think he's won twice already here at Memorial, albeit one of them was, of course, because Rahm WD'd. But a third win makes sense for someone like Patrick Cantlay. So I'll take Cantlay at the longer odds at 10-1 as opposed to Rahm, who's at 7.5-1. So that's where I'll go on that one. Final thoughts before we hit the road, guys. And anything you want to give our listeners? Another great show from the both of you. Ben, thank you for coming on. Any comments?
Oh, I just had so much fun just talking to you guys, and
we miss you.
Just being the star of the show. It's just so much fun. Yeah.
As he puts his hand there just to show off the bicep, right?
I'm fixing my hat, and why would I do that with my left hand? My left arm isn't as big as my right arm. Come on.
So, all right. Well, we now know more personal things about Ben. He values his right arm more than.
Oh my God, you're sick! Not like that,
Kyle. Any comments before we go?
Not a free ad, but if you haven't already, do yourself a favor and see the best action comedy movie of the last 2 decades, The Machine, Burt Kreischer's new movie. Absolutely electric. One of the funniest, most well-produced movies I've seen over the last 15 to 20 years. Go see it in theaters. It's something that I will go see in theaters 2, 3, 4, 5 more times. It's unbelievable. I think this movie honestly saved action comedy movies because it's been a long time since we've gotten a good one. Mark Hamill plays Bert's dad. Bert is fantastic. Go see it. You will laugh your face off.
I'm actually going to see it. Well, I haven't booked it yet, but my girlfriend was like, hey, let's go to a movie tomorrow because it's $5 Tuesdays at AMC. I'm going to try and convince her now to go and to go see it.
It's worth every penny.
Tomorrow. My only comment is the Mets absolutely suck and they ruin everybody. So that's all I've got. Folks, another great show off the docket. Hashtag LOL Mets, right? For Kyle Bennett, that's Ben Pirro. I'm Stephen McAvoy. Another great show, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. Ben, I hope to see you again next week. I know you mentioned it earlier. Maybe we'll bring you back on the plane.
Yeah, we'll
keep flying it.
I'll think about it. I have a lot of stuff going on, Stephen. You're not. You're important. You're not that important. Though.
I will book the deal at this week's Mets game later on this week. I will make sure the deal gets completed and
the papers get signed.
The paper will get signed, and it'll be at Citi Field that it is done in front of that gigantic ass scoreboard.
I need it filmed.
Obnoxiously big.
And then the PR on the Twitter is going to be the Underground Sports logo, and it's going to say "I'm back."
I'm back, baby.
Michael Jordan is back in the building. Folks, we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Get in the Hole Pod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at Underground PHI. We'll see you next time, and remember, get in the hole!